It's a bull. Got it right today. Good evening. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in, where else? Beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Got the live Deerfield cam up here, and boy, that little yellow-black striped fella is like a regular guy around this cam. He must have his home kind of borrowed near close to there. And there is a happy Bermuda chub going by. Saw a couple snappers out there and some scattered bait fish. Looks like there's some predators out there chasing things around. But that is the same in the water. Oh, there he is. There's the barracudas. I knew there were some predators around there. I saw everything kind of getting a little panicky. And or don't we all when we see predators nearby? Well, hey, let's kind of just reminisce about what we got going on right now, because you can't spend your way out of a recession or borrow your way out of a debt. And I don't know who Daniel Hannon and Via Gecko Fly is, probably some company, but courtesy of them, there's the quote of the day. And we're going to move right into precious metals because there's not a lot to talk about. I mean, everyone's kind of watching in to see what the equities market's doing. I mean, think about this. A vast majority of Americans have their money, their investments tied up in two places. Where? They're not in precious metals. They're not in gold and silver. And really, I hope no one does have a vast amount of their money tied up in precious metals. I believe in diversification. I'd be a real idiot to say that, oh yeah, put all your money into gold and silver. I think that smart people, have diverse portfolios and diverse investments in all different kinds of things, from real estate to equities to even cryptos, if you know what you're doing in that market. No less, boy, the cryptos and not just crypto, but the equities markets are just in trash. But we know what's going to happen, and they've telegraphed it all along. The Fed's been saying they're going to raise interest rates. All the pundits have been saying interest rates are going to be raised. Interest rates are going to go up, and everyone has known that's going to knock the Dow down. But no less, what happens? I got to tell you, a vast majority of the investing public, they just ride it out. They just watch it go down. They sit in their 401ks. They sit in their retirement accounts or their whatever they have in equities, and they just ride it down. Even when they've been giving the signals, even when the Fed has come right out and said we're going to drive the Dow down, we're going to drive equities markets down, and more than likely housing prices too. But you got to live somewhere. But no less, equities, it just surprises me that people haven't kind of stepped out of their 401k, especially if they're involved with equities and they're involved with stocks and that kind of thing, and said, listen, we're going to step out right now. We're going to just wait and see what happens. I mean, even if it just kind of stabilized and went up a little bit, you could buy back in if you felt the economy was good. But the Fed has been signaling this market crash for how long now? They've been telling us for the longest period of time. And what does this have to do with the price of gold and silver? Well, I think they've been telegraphing all along, too, that they're really not going to be able to do anything. They're not going to be able to save the economy, per se. They're not going to be able to save people's retirements account. They're going to come down. I mean, the Fed had no choice but to raise interest rates. Why? Because they need to lower them later. They had no more ammunition, and they had no more bullets in the revolver. I mean, 2020, they shot their last bullet right out of that revolver. They were getting near zero interest rates. They had no choice but to raise interest rates because the Federal Reserve cannot afford to be in a sub-zero environment, okay? And we were getting close to that point. There's no choice but to raise interest rates. They've telegraphed it all along. We've known it all along, so this shouldn't be any great surprise. The collapse in the S&P, the collapse in the Dow, the collapse in the NASDAQ should be no surprise to anyone. What are the surprises to even myself are the crypto markets. I mean, Bitcoin was going to replace gold. What happened to that? I mean, and again, I know there's people out there invested in crypto that are probably saying, gosh, Brian just threw another arrow at us or shot another arrow in my heart. But, really, it was an untested marketplace, and it's kind of proven itself right now. It's not gold. It will never be gold. And chances are it's surviving for the next 5,000 years like gold has survived 5,000 years to date is slim to none. People still covet gold, all right? But no less, let's talk about gold. 1857.70, take a look at that. Market's closed right now there was a lot of gyrations and fluctuations. This morning it was kind of on the lower side. Look at this, a low of 1817 and a high of 1858, not too far off from where it closed in the aftermarkets here. And silver the same way. We were, testing a little bit sub 21, 2097 the other day, 2092 or something like that. And now we're looking at almost 22. That's a hell of a range, I mean. Silver kind of like trading in that 50-cent dollar range, but a range. You know, no one can knock the price of gold, silver, or platinum right now. Maybe a palladium a little bit. That's taking a pretty good dump here, going almost to the price of gold and below, but not many people own palladium, so let's not talk about that right now. The big metals, gold, silver, and platinum, have held on to a range. They've not kind of hit the new lows, unlike the stock market and the crypto market. It just continued to see new lows. Gold and silver has been trading in a range, and I know you say, well, some people say, oh man, it was 1869, 1875 last week, or whatever, 1870 last week, and now it's dumped back down to, what was it, 1808 something this week or something. But still, hanging on to that range. We're range bound in the precious metals markets, which really means that, you know, in the race to the glue factory, the equities markets is going there really fast. The crypto markets is going there fast. And gold just kind of like holding its own, never even left the starting line as far as the race to the glue factory. The other markets have, all right? So, like the stability that I'm seeing in gold, like the stability that I'm seeing in silver, like the stability I'm seeing in platinum. And I believe that we're getting ready close to see new levels in both these metals right here, or in all three of these metals, gold, silver, and platinum. Let's take a look at the 24-hour chart, and of course you can see midday is when we started to see the action in the upward mode instead of the downward mode in the New York Crimex markets, where gold went 1830 to 1860, $25-$30 up market right there, where it's kind of sitting right now. I'm curious. Let's see what happens in tomorrow's market, Friday. If we see any monkey hammering, it'll probably be tomorrow, Friday, during the Crimex markets, opening between 8:20 and noontime, likely somewhere in between there. If we do see monkey hammering in the gold pricing or gold price tomorrow, but and silver the same way. Take a look at this. Almost the lines are identical. Silver kind of moving upward instead of downward in the mid-afternoon Crimex markets. And holding its own at $21.80 and $22, close to that $22 mark. Again, tomorrow, Friday, let's see what happens. Let's see if they monkey hammer these markets down. But you know what? Both gold and silver have held their ground pretty damn well, considering you're looking around the rest of the investment world, especially the darling of the governments and darling of the United States, which is the equities markets and the housing market, which are starting to really not look too good. And again, this is why you want to be diversified into different things. You know, gold and silver is holding its own. It's doing well right now, given the environment, especially the environment of the stock market, the environment of bonds, the environment of treasuries, which aren't paying positive rates, the environment of cryptos, which are supposed to replace gold. So, listen, despite the fact that gold hasn't gone up dramatically, it's doing very well, folks. I'm very impressed with the both metals and platinum as well. Palladium, don't know enough about talk about it. This market just kind of hammered. I think it was even down higher. The Dow Jones, it was like 800 points down when I looked at it earlier. But we're in for a sustained letdown in the. I mean, when I say letdown, Dow Jones, S&P, and Nasdaq, big bubble, huge bubble, and the one thing that I believe that the Federal Reserve and the United States government has learned is they don't want these big bubbles to burst overnight. So they're slowly letting the air out of the bubble, 200 points at a time, 500 points, 800 points, and like today, 741 today as far as the Dow goes, 123 on the S&P, and 453 on the Nasdaq. Wow, that's a kick in the ass, 4%. So, and that might have something to do with crypto as well. But let's look at crypto markets here. Yeah, wow, wow, that's even more hemorrhaging. But again, comparatively speaking, gold and silver is doing very well, folks. It's doing what it should be doing right now. It's holding its own. Let's not even talk about this. That's down right there, and I don't want to kind of, Well, anyways, consumer price index for all urban consumers. I just kind of updated this chart here. This is for this year. This is the beginning of 2022 to date, more or less. Well, hang on. Let me see if they have anything newer than that. Let's see, '06. Let's see if they have the '06 up now. And probably not, but no less. Take a look at this chart. This is just from the beginning of the year. Consumer price index. This is the purchasing power of the consumer dollar in the U.S., in the average U.S. city. Folks, it's in a free fall. That's scary. And again, the purchasing power of the U.S. dollar, the equities markets, which is really the stock market, the NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow, crypto markets are in a free fall. The dollar is in a free fall, and gold and silver is holding its own. So don't let anyone tell you that gold and silver is not a good hedge and not a good place to be, because it is. And I really believe we're in the next leg up as far as gold and silver prices go. I don't know where. Hate to do predictions. Long term, you're always going to be in good shape if you own gold and silver. You're never going to wake up and hear that it went bankrupt. And the long-term trend, as long as we're in a fiat-driven world, is upward. However, short-term, medium term is getting a little easier to pick here. I'm getting closer to the feeling that in the medium term here, we're getting ready for explosive upward prices in gold and silver. Short term, gosh, who the hell knows? Take a look at the misery index too, man. Not looking good for this current administration. There he is right there. He's in the top 4 next to Nixon, Carter, and Eisenhower. Biden is up there. Take a look at this average, 10.49, and Biden's not even through his entire 4 years yet, and he's getting up there as far as the misery index, being the highest president on the misery index since Richard Nixon, Carter, and Eisenhower. That is not a legacy that is going to get them reelected in 2024. And the midterms look like they're, well, let's not even go there. If you watch the news, you know the midterms is going to be a major trashing for one particular party. Well, nothing but shitty news out there. And what is shitty news good for? Well, shitty news is good for the price of gold and silver, because ultimately gold and silver is a trustworthy place to be. And again, I was going to start talking about some of this, but I'm just done with it. I'm tired. It's been a long day, and I'm sure you've had a long day as well. And let's just get into, boy, whatever happened. Okay, let's not even talk about this stuff. Let's move into what the best deals are. And you know what? To keep it short and sweet, I know some of you are going to say, boy, you're getting lazy, Brian, but just watch yesterday's video. Just watch 2 weeks' video. Just watch the video from 6 months ago. The same good deals, and the same deals that I told you are the best things to buy in precious metals are still the same thing today. And maybe this is like, I won't say homework, but maybe this is suggested reading or suggested video watching for you new people that haven't watched my videos. If you want to find out what the best deal is in gold and silver, watch yesterday's video. That'll speed me through this right now and get me into the, oh man, here we go. Let's take a look at where is my videos. You know what, folks? I'm not going to answer yesterday's video's comments because I am just tired, man. I've had a long day. I had another employee out with the COVID here, so I'm doing the work of 3 people now. I'm not complaining. Love my business. And going to call it quits tonight, make it an early show. It's Thursday night. I'll do a better job tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a great evening. And as I always say, think for yourself, question authority. And again, for you new folks that want to get more detail why I say this, watch yesterday's video. Hey, thanks for watching again. Have yourself a great evening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye now.